Welcome YouTube. This is the Velvet Locks with another story time. Yes, another story time. Now, being that this is Vlogmas month, I decided instead of vlogging every day, I will do a story time. Pretty much I'll try to do one every day, and if not a story time every day, I'll also mix it up with some content videos. And yes, so I'm also going to be vlogmasing this month, but it's going to be in the form of story times and videos. So yes, let's get into this story. Now this is the time when the neighborhood bully tried to shoot up my Sweet 16 party. Yes. This was around the time of me turning 16, and you know, my friends, my besties at that time decided to throw me a birthday party. Now, this was a surprise birthday party because I didn't know anything about it, and being that they were so close with my family and my parents, they somehow made arrangements with my mother, my dad, and decided to throw me a Sweet 16 party at my house. So, okay, no problem. The day of the Sweet 16 party, you know, my girlfriend tried to keep me out of the house, and, you know, I was hanging with her all day, and all was good, and all my little DJ crew friends back then, because, you know, that around that time, that's when the DJ crews and, you know, rap and all of that was really big. My friends were part of a DJ crew, and they were the ones that were mixing and playing at my party. Now, this was a very popular DJ crew back in the days in Cambria Heights, Queens, and they were Master Plan. All right, now some of you that are watching my video that are from the Cambria Heights area would probably remember that name quite well. So, all right, this was my friends. These were my good friends, and we hung out a lot when they did their parties and stuff. You know, we were like the little female, I guess you could say, I don't know, but we were part of them anyway. I wouldn't want to say mascots or groupies because we were not that, but we were part of their group. And they taught us a little something about the mixing and all of that and the rhyming, because we really wanted to try and do, you know, this DJ thing. So anyways, now they made arrangements with my parents to throw me a party, and all was going well. So finally now I arrived home, and to my surprise, my house was full. Okay, my basement was packed. All right, I mean, people. Now these were the perfect people to have throwing you a party, because they knew everybody and their grandmama in Queens. So yes, a lot of them came from their peoples, and a lot of the people that were there also was from high school and the neighborhood and the whole nine, people that I knew. So as the night progressed, now we jamming and everything, we having fun, and I'm just all excited. I'm happy. My girlfriend, you know, my bestie threw me a party, and all my peeps are there. My DJ crew is there. They jamming on the wheels, 1 and 2s. They doing their thing. Now this was really popping. Now back then, if you remember, now those of you that are from New York, back then, that's when, you know, basement parties were popping, you know, them blue light parties. And yes, this was in the basement, and they had the little light on so you can see, but it was dark, so everybody was glowing. Their teeth was glowing, their eyes was glowing, anything that was fluorescent or white was glowing, you know. So yes, I go downstairs and barely can make it down there because it was packed. My house was packed, and I was excited because I'm like, what? My parents let this happen in my house? What? They're letting me get a party out of this? What? So I'm jamming now, and everything is good. So I get a call at the door, right? Now, you know, usually back then when you knew somebody who was throwing a party, you know, everybody's trying to get in. The people who weren't invited was always trying to get in on a homeboy.
You know I know you. Come on now, girl. You know I know you.
So, yes, some people got in, and some people just didn't. Well, I got a call at the front door, and to my surprise and disappointment, it was the neighborhood bully. Okay? The neighborhood bully. Now, this guy and his family was known in the neighborhood for being notorious. And I mean, they always tried to rob people. They jump people. Back then, that's what we call robbing. They used to jump people, snatch your stuff, beat you up. I mean, they were ruthless. Now, for us back then, I mean, we never associated with people like that. So, you know, to hear about it, you was really nervous. You was scared. It was like, wow. You would always hear these things happening at parties. Shootings all of a sudden started becoming on a rise. And you know, so whenever you threw a house party back in the days, there was always that chance there was always going to be a jump off. That something was always going to jump, that something was going to jump off at some point. Well, my party was no different. Now, even though I'm having fun and I get the call at the door, and finally I go to the door with my bestie, and who do I see but this doggone face that I really did not want to see. Now, he's at the door, you know, throwing the lyrics.
Hey, you know, girl. Yo, D, you know me. Yo, yeah, you know me. Come on now, let me in, you know. Come on, let a brother in, you know. Come on now, you know me.
Now, he's really short, but he's scary. He's like a little pit bull. So I'm like, now I'm going to call him, Brother Man. Brother Man. Okay? Brother Man. Now, I'm like, I'm sorry, Brother Man, but I can't let you in. You know, we're already full, and you weren't invited. I mean, I didn't have no control over, you know, who was here. So I can't let you in.
Whoa.
Well, Brother Man was not having that. He did not like the fact that he couldn't get into a party. And that was more like a diss. Now, dissing means that was like disrespecting somebody. Okay, and I'm gonna break it down for some of you who aren't really hip to some of the street lingo, which is old stuff anyways, because they don't even say that no more. But yes, that was like dissing somebody, disrespecting somebody, especially somebody like Brother Man. Somebody that everybody knew, and somebody who knew he was getting in, but to turn him away was like slapping him in the face. And he did not like that one bit. Well. Brother Man decided to let me know what he's planning on doing. So, after hearing he couldn't get in, Brother Man was like,
oh, so you not gonna let me in, right? You ain't letting me in? Oh, really? You not gonna let me in? I thought I thought you was down. Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem. You don't want to let me in? All right, I'll be back.
ooh, ooh. Now, if you're from back in the days, and somebody said they were coming back, you already knew what that was about. We already knew what that was about. So, hearing all of that drama, my dad just happened to come by to the door to find out what's going on at the time when he heard what Brother Man said. And he made his threats, you know, blah, blah, he made his hand gestures. I'll be back. You already knew what that meant. So now my father passing by and was like, no.
Man, can't come inside here, man. No, man.
So when he heard Brother Man say, oh, really? I'll be back. Something told me even my dad, even though he was old, and I can't say old, but he wasn't from our old school. He was from another old school. He even knew what that meant. So now, after we closed the door, he turns around. My dad turns around and was like,
Oh, party over. Party over! Shut it down, man! Shut it down! Party over! No, man! No, man! Shut it down!
Wow. He shut down the party. My dad threw everybody out the house and shut down the party. Now, everybody left the party but my bestie. Because I begged her, please do not go home. Stay with me tonight. Stay here, spend the night, because you heard what Brother Man said. I don't know what he's going to do. I just know when he say he's going to do something, you best believe he's doing it. So, she stayed with me that night. And I waited and worried and waited and worried and worried. Well, the night went on and still nothing happened. So I'm like, okay, woo, glory. We missed that one. Or should I say, we dodged that bullet. So now during the next day now, you know, my mom, she cooks breakfast for everybody and we're eating breakfast and everything. And, you know, then I go hang with my bestie. I go to her house and we're walking now and we run into some other friends who was at the party and heard what took place that night after Brother Man left my house. Well, like I told you, Brother Man was notorious for starting trouble in the neighborhood. He was also notorious for beating people up. And he was also notorious for shootouts. So somehow he must have been so pissed, so mad, and heated that he couldn't get into my party, that he must have been on a rampage, a tyrant rampage, on his way back to wherever, and started trouble on his route. And he bumped into the wrong one. Okay? He bumped into the wrong one. Because whatever took place that night, Brother Man got shot. Okay? We heard that he got shot. Man, I tell you, I was so halfway kind of relieved, but at the same time scared. And I tell you why. Because he lived. Now, I didn't wish him to die or anything, but now that just means that he's out in the street still. He's still, you know, he's still free. So, you know, we went along our journey, whatever, you know, our day, and time went by. So, I haven't seen Brother Man in a minute, okay? Which means a while. So, one day now, me and my neighborhood friends, you know, on the block, we decided we wanted to go up to the school, the park up the street at the school. Now, there was a public school up the street from where I lived, and it had a nice little park, at least for the neighborhood at that time. I mean, the basic stuff, the monkey bars, the swings, the slide, that old hard aluminum stuff that was out there back in the days. So now me and my friends, we out there at the park and we sitting and chilling and having fun and talking. Then all of a sudden, we see a crowd of people walking in the park. So of course, all heads turned to see what was going on and what's this crowd coming in the park for. Well, looky here. As I'm sitting down now and I'm looking at the crowd walking in the park, my eyes was able to focus as they got closer, and I realized that there was a crowd of people walking around this dude that was sitting in a wheelchair. Okay? And I'm like, wow, okay, there's a lot of people coming up in here. There's a whole lot of people coming up in here, you know, neighborhood, hood rats, neighborhood people that he knew. And then it wasn't until I think they got a little closer that I realized the person that they're pushing in the wheelchair was Brother Man. Whoo, Lord, I tell you like this. You talk about somebody who got the heck out of Dodge. I wasn't trying to sit around. I wasn't trying to jog his memory. And I didn't want him to see me because he already knew who I was. You know, he already know where I live. And that night, he got shot coming from my house. So I did not want him to remember the situation, what took place that night, or who the heck he remembers me. Wasn't trying to have that. So by the time I saw that it was Brother Man in the wheelchair that they was pushing in the park, oh, I got the heck up out of there. Trekked the heck up out of that park, ran the heck home. Okay, heart just pounding like crazy, praying that he did not see me. Okay, because that's the last thing I needed for him to do, was to see me. Ooh, I was so scared that day. I tell you, I was so scared that day. Because like I told you, he was the neighborhood bully. So, as time went on now, you know, we're adults now. And I would see Brother Man driving. And I saw one day how he was getting in and out of his car, because now, like I said, he got shot from that night and was in a wheelchair. So he was kind of paralyzed and could not walk. So I was watching him one day getting in and out of his car, because I was driving on the road and I saw him doing his normal whatever. And I saw him, you know, fix it up how he was getting in and out of his car and how he would, you know, maneuver the wheelchair and fold it up and get it in and all of that. So I was like, wow, look at this. That's some stuff right there. I was like, look at this. All these years and he's still in a wheelchair. All these years. I wonder what happened to him. Well, not all situations end up with a bad ending, because turns out that something in his life took a turn after that shooting that left him paralyzed. And Brother Man ended up giving his life over to the Lord. Now, you knew only God can do stuff like that, because this was a dude that was just notorious. He was ruthless. He used to beat people up. I mean, he was no joke. And not only did he give his life over to the Lord, he became a pastor.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
I tell you, that touched my heart so much. So much to know that after all that I knew about this dude and all the things that he did in the neighborhood and what happened that night and the situation that left him in the condition that he is that he's still in up until this day, that he is now pastoring a church, and that he gave his life over to the Lord, and that he's no longer a street rat. Boy, I tell you, that is a testimony right there in itself, because everybody who knew him knew what he was about. And to see the change in him now, only God can do stuff like that. You heard? Only God can do stuff like that. So, yep, that's the end of this story time, you guys. I mean, I am going to be flooding you guys every day with the story time. At least try to do it every day. So stay tuned for some more coming up, because I had to go into my archives in my mental and pull out some really good funny stories for you about back in the day. All right? So yes. Stay tuned for some more story time on this Story Time is or Vlogmas, whichever one you want to call it. And you're going to get a story time all the way up until Christmas, all right? If not a story time, or video content. So stay tuned for all of that, and stay tuned for the next story time because that's coming tomorrow, all right? So thank you again for joining me on this video. Like, comment, and subscribe down below. Thumbs up this video. Share it if you have to, because I tell you, it's going to go down, all right? This week is going down this month, all right? Your girl is coming out with some stories. So yes, and I will see you in the next video.